each individual your own according to the culture, background, and and also it's if we begin to analyze our own perspective, like things are the entities. No entities, entities. Entities is like kind of more touchable particles. And in entities like more in the mental level. And how we can to analyze generally, and also when we analyze the relative truth, absolute truth, we're talking about true truth. If we analyze the relative truth, which kind of the benefit for our mind? And if we realize that absolute truth, how it is the benefit for the mind? This is more very important. And we can to say that in this situation, in these situations, our mind is very much bounded. It's not kind of free, depressed, nervous, anxieties, confusions, and hope, fear. And then is how we can to analyze. In these approaches, I want to say something. Maybe you can also to give suggestions. I'm just saying the principles. Doesn't matter any phenomenon. Principle, then these expressions. In the relatively, I'm concerning my principle, I'm concerning your principle, I'm concerning everybody's principle. This is called the natural condition. Principle perspective, wonderful, fantastic. But principle one is exist or not existent. If really in doubt, I have doubt. Because how I can to see, how I can to look, then I'm listen, analyze. And then certainly something, surely, there is the principle, how is the benefit for myself? There is such the benefit. Very stupid way we can to say, today I'm sick, big pain. And really it's like I'm going down under the maybe deep of the earth to say I'm worse now. But if I'm thinking about the principle, the body, speech, mind, principle, body, speech, mind, never ever sick. In this perspective, the sickness is not permanent. Of course, diabetic is permanent, but there is nothing there kind of And then it's a kind of support. It is relative. It can changeable. No necessary to cry, no necessary to like kind of depressed, no necessary to make the suicide. Even become the most highest in this world. And it's almost touching the sky. What can I do that moment? Even thinking is the principle ones. In the principle perspective, higher doesn't not necessarily to be there. This one is also expressions. Maybe no need to become arrogant, proud, kind of this become very strange. It's not really necessary. Understood this expression is the relative. This expression is like kind of the transience. Understand the impermanent like this. And like same as the angry, not angry, sad, not sad, everything's something to think more that is a little much benefit. Generally, without analysis, maybe generally, means it's like, okay, I understand this phenomenon. Externally, world, it is impermanent. It's like kind of the build up the different particles, nature's emptiness. I understood. Or maybe it's like comes from like this, but I don't know, these directions, how is help to the mind? Planets, sun, months, universes, how it is a begin start. 40 billion years, which kind of there's planets. Now it's news. Okay, going like this. And this one too, certainly something is in our life, certainly something happened, how it is helps. What do you think? Yes, Asim.
This can reduce the grasping.
Which ones?
If we understand that everything is impermanent and changing all the time, it reduces the clinging.
For the sciences, they can to completely reduce the clingings?
This is not their goal. I think it helps for us.
But not ours, that's different, okay? Generally, for example, most our Europeans, like philosophies, maybe it's the science. They analyze this kind of way, okay? Planets, different directions to see how it is to make the benefit for the mind.
I don't know. That's their motivation. No, we don't know what's their motivation.
But you studied Western philosophy, science.
But
Everybody studied. When you study the science, what you study these things, which kind of you have benefit for? Understand how many planets. I understand the Big Bang. I understand particle, antiparticle. I understand it's like kind of cosmologies. Something there's different approach. But which kind of bring to benefit our minds? That's my questions.
Usually it's outer analysis, not inner analysis.
This outer analysis, what is benefit for our mind?
I think
The usual is to vanquish the darkness. This is in our universities, that is science.
Vanquish of darkness, what for the mind? Ignorant.
They don't specify, but this is how we think.
Or black hole.
No, it's more like our mind's darkness. Ignorance. Science will vanquish ignorance or darkness.
But generally they say it's like, for example, how they say, okay, this is one, okay, vanquish the darkness. Maybe one point, this is could to be the mind, yes?
It could be yes.
Okay, then they need to be in the mind, yes? That's a good point. Then its conclusions coming to the Buddhist way.
But no,
Then the conclusion they need to in the mind, yes?
no.
Okay, what you have question, yeah?
No, I wanted to say, что Мне кажется, что когда мы изучаем, наш ум становится более обширным. Вот как говорится, что есть две мудрости. Мудрость глубины, то есть постижение природы сотворения, мудрость широты, как бы всеохватывающая.
When we study, it makes our mind larger or broader. We have like realization of, how to say, multifarious phenomena. So our mind becomes more large.
If our mind is become large, and which kind of benefit? If we understand what is kind of the benefit, for example, certainly some things arrive happy or sorrow. It's certainly something is death process start, and this large mind, this understanding mind is how it's provided, give to support to the mind. Yes?
Well, natural science has the benefit of understanding how phenomena work in relationship to each other. You know, like insulin. When you have diabetes,
Yes.
understanding the nature of that problem, then the cure is there. On a relative level, of course, this is only on a relative level.
Okay.
But the relative level is also a truth. It's like it is there. It has a meaning. It's like two truths. It's not one is false and one is true. They exist together, the relative and the absolute. So on a relative level, yeah, natural science is doing.
Yeah, this is understood. It's which kind of to benefit things, but it's a
medicine, riches.
This is the same as the researching in the Buddhist perspective. Is in relatively we talk about positive and negative. Exactly same. You need to analyze natural science way of the positive things, which medicine for your sickness.
Yes.
And which kind of food you need for your body speed, like a verb.
Yes.
This is just natural or the general, or is like this is the everybody is nature like this. This is like a more basic analysis of the everybody's. For example, even that like kind of animals, they are eating grass. Some is poison, they never eat. They all the time live like this. But it's our perspective, our point is, I mean, just we say it's analysis, okay? This analysis is very good things. This is in the scientific analysis, in the relatively more and more now good things, as you said. And what is the positive? What is the negative things? And physically connect to the plant, you know, these are materials. Interactions, you can put coming together, how we can create positive things, good things. And this is certain, but how this kind of analysis supporting to the two things, to supporting to the mind and how to supporting to the positive development.
Yeah, that's another question.
But this is maybe it's good things is now I heard is there are meeting, they are talking a lot of these ones. It's like this. It's a good thing for ourselves is now externally analysis is also fantastic. It's make kind of reducing the clinging, and also it's like to understand that really is like everything is impermanent, and also it's like a kind of the reducing really but this is needed to apply to the mind. If we do not apply to the mind as okay, outer environment, plant is the really is impermanent, transitory, and if you can to make a large mind, you become more wisdom, you're more famous, you can do like kind of counting the star, you can know about all the planets, and you can write a big theory. Okay, light mind, but good one things is like kind of reducing the more clinging, reducing the more kind of the constant impermanent, and also it's like to thinking more the positive things, like insulin. Okay, this kind of created good in the relatively these things to help like this. Then in the Buddhist perspective, material positive things is very important. Basically, beginning with a constant positive mind. That is the most. For example, if I become very learned for scientific, my mind is very large. I understand external analysis, which medicine, which is needed to for the sickness, everything. But my inner is like positive, my mind, the compassion, loving kindness is not they developed, then my analysis, my research is maybe more constantly benefit for me. And how I can to make the business, how I can to like kind of become the famous, not very much. And then constantly like this, beside background, maybe it's difficult to, I understand the impermanent. Sometimes I make joke, okay? Psychologists to searching to give to the others, and finally itself has become the mad. Because they cannot use themselves, what they can use something. Means it's like they analysis and they use themselves like outer environment, understand. Big mind is coming. I understood the empty nature of the outside and impermanent, reducing the more clinging, way of thinking is permanent, way of the thinking is like kind of truly existence. Then more reduce like a clinging, self-oriented, and then it's like this. Okay, in the relatively, it's like same as the insulin, something doing the benefit. And also it's like, I'm a relative, everybody's relative, everybody's need to more, then mind to more develop the compassion. For example, now global universes, global peacemaker, peace like kind of meetings, they're talking about now a lot positive aspect to develop. Is we have human natures, as there is the positive aspect, loving kindness to this to develop, same as the research, the externally, like insulin, like planets, there is like kind of the planets, vegetation, someone very kind, very eatable, very medicinal. Exactly these expressions, our like humans, body, speech, mind, if positive way, there is very much kind of the medicinal body, medicinal verb. And then it's like peace, to make the world peace very easily, to more study the positive aspect, more analyze the positive aspect. Then it's like to become like this. For our now conclusion is, our own individual during this kind of studies is like more focused positive aspect, how I can do positive to develop. In the relatively, I can do angry, my negative development, even hated, angry, doing like kind of 10 negative things. This is kind of the direction of negative. Also, it's expression of the principle mind, principle body speech. Expression is negative. But also, I can to choose, I can choose positive. I'm angry, immediately to kind of take the antidotes. Oh, this is negative expressions. Immediately to change, more be loving kindness, practice patience, and to understand general, to develop like cheerful and happiness. Then it's a positive direction. This is the principle in the Buddha. He says right and wrong, correct, incorrect. This is like kind of why we are now thinking about in the each phenomenon itself, principle mind, principle. From that to expressions is possible. Negative expression, positive expressions. This both is possible because according to the principle, there's no fixated. If someone's like body, speech, mind is fixated all the time negative, everything is negative expressions. This principle also negative, then we have desperate. What we need to study. There's cannot, because principle is negative. But principle in the Buddha's research, Buddha's discovered this principle natural condition itself is not fixated. It's a truth. It's any kind of, for example, this water is become dirty. This is not fixated because this principle water can clean the dirty. Because the principle water is never ever fixed. There's no conceptual thought means that means it. It's you can't say the dirty, can't say the itself is go beyond that. But this expression is can be the dirty, can be the clean. That we constantly like this. Same as our Buddha nature is like this. Buddha nature is itself, you can't say positive, negative, samsara, nirvana. It is like a concept, this expression, both is coming. And then it's like negative expressions are coming. It's we can say beginning negative expression is inherent ignorant. Some in the movement occur, we have ignorant, this inherent ignorant. Then is negative expressions more formation. Then is like more ignorant. There is a 12 link. Then is according to the samsaras. And in beginning is these expressions coming, recognize self and to change the positive. The samatha bhatta is the positive. This was not at the beginning. Each moment we can change the process. Each moment to realize that. Therefore, our analysis, our practice is like, I have this principle, Buddha nature. This expression, I have two expressions, negative, positive expressions. Positive, negative, negative, positive, these two expressions. Then it's like we're reducing the negative expressions to more create the positive, the expressions. But it's the principle when you both is like itself. There's no necessary to create something. It's automatic. It's natural like this. This means we can constantly during the night time. So I'm the conscious kind of